So a lot of people probably don't know this, but one of the craziest Chicano civil rights attorneys of our time was actually played by Benicio del Toro in the infamous movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas starring Johnny Depp.
Too weird to live, too rare to die. That's how Oscar Zeta Acosta, the infamous Dr. Gonzo, played by Benicio del Toro of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, was described in the iconic movie. In the film, Acosta is portrayed as a larger-than-life attorney and drug-fueled sidekick to Hunter S. Thompson's Raul Duke, played by Johnny Depp. He was chaotic, wild, and impossible to forget, a crazy spirit with law degrees and countercultural rebellion. But behind this character was a real man, a radical Chicano lawyer and activist, and a revolutionary voice for the voiceless. Acosta was born in 1935 in El Paso, Texas, and grew up in the tough barrios of East LA. He was no stranger to hardship, poverty, and racial discrimination. In his early years, Acosta was captivated by the hippie counterculture movement, but something felt off. The white hippies he hung out with didn't share his deep-rooted experiences of being marginalized. It wasn't just about free love and anti-establishment ideals. It was about survival and representation for him. Acosta knew that the Latino community needed more than protest sign. They needed a voice in the courtroom. This realization drove him to law school, where he became a powerful attorney for Chicanos, championing the underdog and defending those without legal power. He fought against the injustices facing Latinos, especially in East LA, where police brutality and systemic racism were rampant. Acosta's deep conviction to be that voice was revolutionary. He wasn't just fighting for justice, he was fighting for his people. Acosta found himself immersed in the Chicano movement, joining forces with La Raza Unida and representing the East Side 13th, activists who organized walkouts demanding better education for Mexican American students. Acosta became a hero to many, using his legal expertise to fight for civil rights and Chicano empowerment. At the same time, Acosta was experimenting with recreational drugs. LSD, mescaline, and other hallucinogens became his tools for tapping into the depths of his mind. His drug use wasn't about escapism, but about unlocking the limits of his brain. It was during these experiments that he met Hunter S. Thompson, the journalist who would turn him into the infamous Dr. Gonzo. Their friendship was fueled by a mutual love for chaos and drugs, and they embarked on one of the wildest trips ever chronicled. Their journey to Las Vegas was supposed to be for an article, but what it turned into was a wild goose chase for the American dream, resulting in the now iconic book Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The book, written by Thompson, became a countercultural hit, but Acosta was not happy with how he was portrayed. In the book, he was cast as a wild and erratic 300-pound Samoan, which he raised his identity as a proud Chicano and revolutionary. He felt that this portrayal reduced him into a caricature, and he briefly considered suing Thompson. Yet, in a twist, instead of going down that road, Acosta brokered a deal for his own voice to be heard. He wrote Autobiography of a Brown Buffalo, a raw, surreal, and powerful account of his life. This was Acosta's true legacy, unapologetically Chicano, proud, and defiant. But as he rose to prominence, he also lost himself. The drugs, the fame, the chaos, it all began to take its toll. In 1974, disillusioned and burnt out, Acosta traveled to Mexico, where he disappeared without a trace. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened to the brown buffalo. Before he vanished, Acosta had a vision. He wanted to create an army of 1 million brown buffaloes, Mexican Americans who would rise up, reclaim their heritage, and demand their place in the world. He saw himself as a catalyst for this revolution, a symbol of Chicano empowerment and a leader of the movement. Though he disappeared, his voice and legacy live on, reminding the world that the fight for justice and identity is far from over.